Okay, so in this video, I'm going to share something that to me is really simple, but it's also the fundamental building block in terms of any kind of real productivity, any efficiency, any growth, any entrepreneurial realization. And it's something that I've been amazed at in my coaching work, how just the impact it brings and the value it brings. So I'm going to talk to you about the value of using a schedule in this video. And I hope you don't switch off thinking, oh God, schedule, that sounds boring. But you'd actually be amazed at how important it is. So the first thing is, what do I mean by a schedule? So by a schedule, I think if we remember back to school days, we had a timetable where our times were mapped out. We mapped out when we got into school, our classes, our lunch breaks, etc. And a schedule is very similar. It's just, it applies to day-to-day life. And for me, I schedule in everything in terms of when I get up, when I'm training, the meetings I'm having, the time I want to allocate to certain tasks, even when it's time to go to bed. And I know that sounds really, really simple or really basic, but the fact of the matter is that when you're stressed, you can often find yourself working late, thinking you're being great, and then the next day you wake up completely shattered as a result. And so that's something, it takes real discipline to achieve whatever your ambitions are. It takes focus. And a huge kind of tool that I use, and anybody that I work with, I really impart this onto, is a schedule, is marking out your allocated times for whatever it is that you want to do. And it really is very, very grounding for a lot of people. It's really shaping. And it also brings a kind of a proactiveness to people with their time, because I think a lot of us, we underestimate or sometimes perhaps overestimate how much time we have. And when you break it down in terms of a map or in terms of a schedule, it's actually quite interesting. You really don't have as much time as you might think you would. And when you factor in all the things that you want to get done, again, that time shrinks down, and all the things that you have to do as well, like you have to eat your meals. It's a good idea to get some exercise every day. It's a good idea to get some time for yourself every day. And again, that time shrinks down. And you start to see that you've only actually very few little gaps in your schedule over the course of the week to perhaps take on a new task or to perhaps socialize. And so with that, you become all the more, I suppose, conscious of, okay, well, one second, if I only have so much time, I'm going to think really, really diligently about who I'm going to spend that spare time with. And so you become much more proactive and assertive with your time, but also in terms of the company you keep and also the ideas that you consider. Because again, when you can see out how much time you have in front of you, you suddenly think, okay, wait, that new idea that's been presented to me, that seems really shiny and cool. I actually don't have too much time. And, you know, if I take that on, I'll either have to get it done in that small window that I have, or else it's going to start intruding on my other priorities. And so it helps you become very, very proactive and assertive in terms of what you're going to do, and again, what you're not going to do. And they say success in business is literally 99% saying no. And so that's really, really helpful. They also talk about the success in terms of managing a project is about 80-90% delegation. Well, again, when you see your schedule in front of you and how much time and space you have, you'll be all the more conscious of delegating to make sure that you have your time for yourself. So I've kind of touched on a whole load of areas in this video with regards to scheduling. And indeed, it is something that I actually spend. It's kind of pretty much the first hour or two I spend with most clients, because they don't schedule properly and they're all over the place as a result. Whereas when people do really good groundwork on their schedules, it brings a whole new way of living, a whole new way of kind of proactivity and real productiveness. And so, as I said, I've talked in a number of different angles in it, but I hope in this video I've quickly imparted how important scheduling is. And if it's something that interests you, if it's something that you'd like to learn a little bit more, leave a comment in the comment boxes below, and I'll follow up on it. Or indeed, if you want to get in touch to get a bit more info, I'm happy to follow up with you from there.